So is now a good time to sell your home? Well, in the most general sense, the answer is clearly yeah. Historically low inventory resulting in more buyers than available homes has continued to drive home prices up in the market. It's really just a simple supply and demand issue benefiting sellers. That said, there are a couple of reasons that now might not be a good time to sell, and if you're a homeowner looking to move into a larger property or downsize even, there may be some more financially advantageous options for you. Stay tuned. So first, let's talk briefly about why now may be a great time to sell. Maybe you're relocating and want to avoid being a long-distance landlord. Personally, we did just that recently, selling our home in California and moving to Tennessee. More on that in a later video. Maybe you're experiencing a personal life change that necessitates selling, like a divorce, the loss of a job, or you've had a death in the family, like a parent or a family member, and you need to just sell the property and disperse the proceeds. If you find yourself in that situation and you have to sell regardless of the market conditions, then obviously selling in this current market is most likely going to result and a better financial outcome for you. But for the sake of this short video, I want to focus on homeowners who are not experiencing extenuating circumstances that may require the selling of their property, but on homeowners who have the option to stay in their current home if need be, but for whatever reason would like to move into another home, or they're just thinking about maybe trying to time the market and get their money out of their property. First, let's talk about sellers looking to sell in order to move up or to downsize. Now may not be the best time for you to sell, but that doesn't mean you have to stay put either. One great option I would recommend, especially if you have significant equity and a low interest rate mortgage on your current home, is to look for ways to buy your new home while holding on to and renting your previous property. Now, obviously, you'll want to do your homework and talk to your financial advisor and trusted mortgage lender who will walk you through all of your options. But there can be a couple of great advantages in renting your home while buying your next one. First off, there's a good chance you'll be able to rent your property for more than your current mortgage and maintenance costs, providing a little residual cash flow. However, even if you were to just break even, you would still benefit from rising home prices and equity in both your rental and primary residence, helping you build retirement and or generational wealth. Second, if you were to take a second or even HELOC loan on your first property to make the down payment on your house you wish to purchase, that money is not subject to taxes. This allows you to leverage the equity position in your existing property to help you buy your new home with little or no money out of pocket. Now, this is not without risk, and you will want to make sure you're in a financial position to withstand some short-term market volatility and that you're comfortable with the level of risk that entails. Thirdly, if you sell your home prior to or concurrently with the purchase of your new home, you will lose a portion of that equity in the home in the form of real estate commissions and closing costs, something that needs to be factored into your cost-benefit analysis when making your decision to rent or sell your current home before buying. Lastly, you can avoid the stress of trying to buy and sell a home concurrently, staggering escrows, hoping and praying that closings happen on the same day as to avoid being temporarily homeless, moving household items in and out of storage, staging a home you will still need to live in, as well as attempting to live in a show-ready home. Now, although that certainly can be done and frankly happens every day, it's far less stressful so long as circumstances allow to move from your current property to your new home, then, at your leisure, return to your previous property, preparing it to be marketed as a rental. Again, I strongly recommend you speak with a knowledgeable lender before you decide to sell, as your situation is unique to you, and they will be able to provide you with a great deal more options than I have mentioned in this video. For those who are just looking to time the market and sell now at what some believe to be the top of the market and then jump back in after home prices fall or even crater, for a lot of reasons, some of which I'll quickly spell out, I can't in good faith recommend this course of action. Now, ultimately, you need to do what you feel is in your best interest, and admittedly, I'm just one of an infinite number of realtors making YouTube videos, so yeah, I get it. Still, please, if you're considering selling your home in an attempt to time the market, I strongly encourage you to do your due diligence and research all of the costs associated with selling your home. Additionally, you'll need to consider all of the costs associated with moving and renting for an indeterminate amount of time, and the costs associated with buying a new home if and when home prices fall. You will also want to talk to your accountant or tax advisor to get a clear picture of any tax implications your decision might have on you. When you consider all of those factors, you might find that the housing market may need to fall much further than it is reasonable to believe it might before it ultimately becomes profitable for you to sell and wait for a market correction. Speaking of possible market corrections, on a personal note, my wife and I bought our first home in California in late 2005, just 90 miles south of the epicenter of the 2008 housing crash and subsequent worldwide financial crisis. And although we knew the house was realistically overpriced when we bought it, we felt it was in our best interest to get into the market as it was rising every day with no end in sight. And it seemed like everyone who was renting was having their rental homes sold out from underneath them as rental property owners were looking to capitalize and cash out on soaring real estate values. Our home nearly tripled in value by 2007 before going into a state of freefall. Long story short, we were lucky enough to have a fixed-rate FHA mortgage, and we held onto the home and weathered the storm. But it wasn't until late 2014 before we once again entered into positive equity territory. Now, I say all of this to say, if you're looking around and your spidey sense, for lack of a better term, is telling you that this market feels a little like 2006 through 2007, I'm right there with you. That said, a close examination of the factors that drove us into the 2008 crisis compared to the market factors driving the current run-up in the home prices leads me to believe, and this is only my opinion, so please take it for what it's worth, that when and if a market correction occurs, it will be nowhere near the crash of 2008. The reckless speculation and lack of lending standards that were the impetus for the 2008 crash just aren't present in our current housing market. Our current situation looks much more like a relatively simple organic issue of too many would-be home buyers chasing too few homes on the market. I also believe that barring a dramatic reduction in mortgage rates, some degree of market correction is on the horizon. And if not a correction, then certainly a leveling of home prices as the reality of housing affordability sidelines more and more would-be buyers. I think it can be safely argued that a quick examination of year-over-year housing data suggests that a cooling of the market may already be underway, as evidenced by the continued slowdown in mortgage applications. Of course, as previously mentioned, the lack of inventory is still continuing to push the supply and demand imbalance, resulting in higher home prices. Most chief economists who study the housing market are forecasting, at worst, a mild correction largely due to a continued lack of inventory in the foreseeable future. Another huge thing to keep an eye on, and this really needs to be its own video, is that there are signs that subprime, now known as non-prime, mortgages are beginning to make their way back into the market. Now, let me be clear. These are not the fog-o-mirror mortgages of 2005, 6, and 7, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is tightly regulating the new non-prime mortgage terms and interest rates, as well as ensuring these loans are properly underwritten. Additionally, the adjustable rate, or ARM mortgage, is once again growing in popularity. Now, I'm not saying the existence of these mortgage programs are necessarily bad. In fact, a savvy homebuyer may be able to use the ARM to their financial advantage. But the reality is, the existence of these loans will no doubt put upward pressure on housing prices, particularly on entry-level properties and properties at or below the median home price in a given market. Bottom line, tight inventory and financial programs ostensibly designed to help alleviate constraints of higher interest rates on home buyers will most likely work to bolster home prices, keeping us firmly in a seller's market for the foreseeable future. Okay, I promise to keep this video short, so I'll stop here. As always, if you're looking to buy or sell in the Eastern Tennessee area, I would love the chance to earn your business. Thanks again for watching.